if you're wondering how to drain a transmission when you have a pan with no gasket, I suggest loosen up all the bolts, just kind of crack the back ones in, ones in the back free, and then go on the outside of a nut, grab a screwdriver, and just pry it open. And this is going to take a while. All right, so a couple minutes later, more like a half hour, we can see everything looks great in here, but it's leaking from somewhere. As I showed you before, there's a patch panel on here. Held a light under it. Obviously I couldn't see anything, so it's going through the middle and then going out somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this down, see if I can see a hole. Got to grind it to weld it anyway, and gonna circle back to this. Okay, so I ground the pan down on the inside, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. I have two little very, very tiny holes. I do not know if that is the root cause of the leak. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to see much. But what I'm gonna do, since I gotta run out anyway, I'm gonna fill this up, just this corner, with tranny fluid, and I cleaned this all out around here. Blew it all out, dried it up, fill it up with tranny fluid, and if I come back and there's any on the outside, then I'm just gonna zap that, and I'm gonna zap that, and hopefully it'll be cured. Okay, so here we are. We are back, day 2, and we're already running into issues. But before that, last night, got home, welded up the tranny pan, put that in, no leaks. You can see I did filter it. A little bit of junk in there, tiny little bit of metal. Most of that's in there, that's all old gasket material. So we just changed the oil, and lo and behold, I go underneath and I got a leak. Thought maybe I overfilled it. Let me show you what happened. Not the end of the world, just a lot of cleanup. You can see the filler was not in the valve cap. So some leaked out. Not sure how much. Looks pretty messy. Gonna have to wash that all down before it just smokes the shit up as the exhaust heats up. So I'm guessing I probably lost a quart or so. So we got to get that back in place and continue filling it with oil. Okay, don't expect you to see this, but obviously we fixed the oil fill that was out of the valve cover, and probably lost only about a half a quart. I think I only lost it at the very end when I just dumped it all in and just let it go to town. So this, which is about a quarter-inch deep, it's not much, but this is how much tranny fluid we lost in a 24-hour period. So it was on the truck for 6 days, so someone's car has some tranny fluid on it somewhere. And hope you're not watching this video. So next up, what we're going to do, something I like to do every time I buy a vehicle. We just did the oil change, obviously. Oil's black, to be expected. We're going to strain it back into the original oil container and see if we get any metal in there. Now, I am expecting some. I mean, this pan wasn't completely clean. Just going to gauge pretty much, the condition of the motor. So let me set this on the tripod and keep going. All right, so we ended up using 2 screens. This one is still draining, and that was our original one. Just gets clogged up with junk and shit. And there is going to be some extra just grease and stuff in here, because when I did wipe down underneath the truck for my oil leak, when I wiped it down, I just kind of wiped it into the bucket. So we're going to go through here. What we got ourselves is a nice magnet, pretty clean, and we're going to go through and we're going to pull any metal out while this is draining. And we are expecting to find a little metal. You're always going to find some metal. You just don't want a lot. So we're going to go through there. And let's go through here. far it's looking really good. And then we'll just go through the pan. That metal there. Hard to tell if it's metal or junk, but the magnet itself. And yeah, this is a very strong magnet. And I probably did have like some metal in here because I have, you know, used my grinder near this. Alright, so there we are. A couple little shards here and there. But this is probably the best motor I've ever done this to. I am completely happy with that. Who knows if I would have cleaned this out better. Might even have better results. But let's see if you guys can see. That much metal. That is not bad for a 40-year-old motor at all. I'm quite pleased. Also, in case anyone was wondering, there were only 3 quarts. But that's fixed now. Okay, so next up, me and my buddies, we're going to be draining the radiator. Because this thing is nothing but rust. So, new radiators probably in the future, but we're going to drain this down, try to clean it, do the best we can, and we'll go from there. Right, so we filled the radiator up and flushed it a couple times. Now there was just water in here, there was no antifreeze, because let's face it, it was an Arizona van. And you can see, you know, it was a little dirty, a little bit. So what we did, we're going to try to circulate all the rust out of here. You know, we pulled the hose off the thermostat because we got to pull the thermostat and change that anyway. So I just connected the hose to the top of the radiator, filled it up with water, and I made a little fitting here out of some PVC. Yeah, it's kind of just ghetto rigged on there. So we're going to throw this in here and hope for the best. So theoretically, when I hit this lever, that should bubble. Let's see. Oh shit, that did more than bubble. But let's send her home. Alright, I'm liking this. I'm gonna fill it up. We're gonna do this a couple times. There she blows. Alright, it's getting cleaner. This was kind of funny. I wish I caught it the first time because it kind of scared the shit out of me. But I learned that if you put your hand over where the cap goes, this happens. Actually, that blew out of there. That's not what I was going for. Let's try it again. That's what I was talking about. And it popped out over there again. Well, looks like I don't have to worry about that oil that I spilled. So, good news is she's pretty cleared out. The bottle was really bad, and yeah, very brittle, so I broke it. So, we're gonna go, we gotta order some parts anyway. What's that? 15 bucks? It's so brittle anyway. It is what it is. Let's keep going. Half hour later and 10 bucks. Problem solved. Now I don't have to JB Weld and rig that shit. And here is where we are at. We got the radiator about as flushed out as we're going to be able to get it with water. And we do have some engine degreaser on the motor. We're going to let that sit. All we got to do is just reconnect this. I'm not changing the thermostat or the gasket just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this up to temp. Try to basically just flush out any other junk that's left inside the cooling system. I'm only running it with water right now. I mean, it's October. I'm not worried about it freezing on the Jersey Shore yet. Oh, gotta check the power steering fluid. And it's dry, but that's no big deal. Still turns fine. Probably just a little bit low. So we'll throw some of that in and wait, rinse this off in like 10 minutes or so, then maybe take it for a ride. Oh, you know what? Better check the brakes. Oh, the brakes felt awesome. Let's see if I can do this without a screwdriver. Nope, need a screwdriver. We'll circle back to that. 5 seconds later. Brakes are good. Back's full. Front, we're gonna add a little. No big deal. But yeah, fluid actually does not look as bad as I thought. So I don't think we're even gonna be doing a fluid change. We'll see. Shit changes. Something else. I thought it was really cool. Earlier today, I talked to Kirk over at customvans.com. Ordered all of the fender flares and the front spoiler. I already told you guys I'm doing something different with the back wing and everything. But what was really cool was he actually knew who we were. He'd seen a couple of our bubble videos. He saw obviously he saw Vandemic, which he thought was an awesome van. So if you guys don't know who he is, you're obviously not into vanning. But for the people that do, he's got the best parts around. So visit customvan.com. And no, he's not paying me to say this or anything. Just seems like a cool guy, and I'm actually going to go meet him in a couple months when my flares are done. Just thought I'd throw that in there before I forget.